It's so strange. I look at him now and I know that he killed my mom. And now he's gonna pay for it.
You've seen who I am. Nora! You know what I can do.
Every bad thing that has happened to us, it was him.
I promise you, Mary Ellen, you will die.
Then face me now!
Where are you?
Wells is in the building. He's coming this way.
Come on, we gotta get out of here.
Don't worry, we'll stop him. You ruined my life, all of our lives! I have to be ready to face him.
Hear him. The reverse flash. Help me!
Let him go.
Oh my God!
Kill you. So easy.
Hey YouTubers, it's Charlie. Thank you everyone that asked questions about The Flash and Arrow this week. There's also a bunch of news about the spinoff, new character, maybe Cyborg has been cast on the show. So I'm going to start with that first, and then I'm just going to go through all the really big Arrow Flash questions. So the big news is that an actor named Franz Drameh, I don't really know how to pronounce his last name, so I might be butchering that, was cast as Jay Jackson. The official description of his character reads, a former high school athlete whose pro career was derailed by injury. Now making ends meet as an auto mechanic, Jay will come to have a surprising affiliation to the Star Labs crew. So looking at the actor they cast, we know the character is African American, leading to, like 2 or 3 really big possibilities. The most likely one is he's going to be Cyborg, or a version of Cyborg. The Victor Stone Cyborg has always been tied, his origin has always been tied to Star Labs, all the way from the classic comics through the New 52. If you don't read the comics, the New 52 origin story is the one that they told in the Justice League War cartoon. The one where the Mother Box technology fuses with him and he becomes a cyborg that way. In the classic comics, it was like an alien that came through a portal that mutated him, and his father, who worked at Star Labs, created the cybernetic parts to help him survive the mutation. Almost the same thing, just a little bit different. I know a lot of you are asking, how can they do Cyborg on the TV show if they're going to be doing him in the Batman v Superman movie in Justice League? Well, it is possible, like they are doing that with a couple other characters. Slade Wilson, the Deathstroke character, is the best example. Mark Guggenheim said that Deathstroke was not off the table on the TV show, even though he's probably going to appear in the Suicide Squad movie. So not all movie characters are off limits to the TV shows. The only bad thing about that is that there's no hard and fast rule. It's like a case-by-case basis. Deadshot is the best example of that. Like Will Smith is going to be playing Deadshot, so I think the DC was like, okay, he's such a big actor, we don't want to have anyone else playing him. Who knows what kind of conversations go on behind the scenes, but Cyborg being a very tech-based character feels like he fits really well with the Ray Palmer character as well as Martin Stein. Very science tech oriented, so it seems like that's going to be the basis of the team, as opposed to like a magic-based Justice Society or Justice League Dark. Moving down the list of possibilities, slightly less likely, Wally West. The TV show already confirmed that they're going to do a version of him eventually. So rewind to last year, whenever they were casting the Brandon Routh Ray Palmer character. Initially, his character description read as the Ted Kord Blue Beetle. Obviously, behind the scenes, things changed, and they needed to make him the Atom instead of the Blue Beetle. So the Arrow Flash people could be running some interference just to confuse comic book readers and saying, Jay Jackson doing like a funny alliteration thing to be Wally West, WW to JJ. I think it's a little bit early to be bringing the Wally West Flash on the TV show. I honestly think that they're going to hold that off for a little bit, and it's going to flow from a storyline on the Flash, not the spinoff show. That's why I think the Wally West Flash is just slightly less likely, and I think when they bring that character on, he will be called Wally West. He won't be called some other name. So unless they're lying to us, Jay Jackson is not going to be Wally West. So one more time, moving like slightly down the list of possibilities, there's the Static Shock character. I know everybody really wants to see him in the TV show universe at some point. They're making a live action show, like they're developing a live action show just for him. So I don't think that Static Shock is going to be on the spinoff show. The way they describe the Jay Jackson character makes it sound like he's going to be kind of a Cisco type person that just, wisecracks a lot and comments on all the craziness of, what they're going on chasing down metahumans. That's kind of the energy you get from the Cyborg character in the New 52 universe. Just like, what's going on here? This is absolutely crazy. There are aliens flying around everywhere, superpowered people. So based on the information we have, all signs point to Cyborg. But, again, they could be lying to us and using a fake name, fake description. It could be someone totally different. Let me know what you guys think, though. Which character is this Jay Jackson character? Is he Cyborg? Is he Static Shock? Is he someone else? So moving on to Arrow and the Flash this week, I'm going to start with the Canary Cry, like the really big stuff first. I know everyone's wondering whenever Laurel's going to use that the first time. She's actually seen doing it in the promo for the next episode, so I think we're going to see it in the next episode. Just like all the suits, all the tech on Arrow and the Flash, I think the Canary Cry is going to evolve over time. Like Cisco will make little tweaks to it as they go along. So don't be surprised if we get to season 4 and the cry sounds just like a little bit different. All in all though, watching Laurel scream like this just gets me so excited. Don't you wonder if when they were auditioning the character, they had her scream? Because, they were auditioning characters knowing that they would become Black Canary. Like, okay, you just read dialogue with this other character. It sounds like you can do great drama. Now show us how you scream. A lot of you guys were also asking if when Cisco gave her the Canary Cry choker, if it was a vibe Easter egg, because he said he'd been working with sound waves. That was actually a callback to Pied Piper. I know everyone wants to know when Caitlin's going to become Killer Frost and Cisco's going to become Vibe. The way they made it sound, like in all the panels that they've done, is that Caitlin will become Killer Frost before Cisco becomes Vibe. So what I think is going to happen is we'll get some Killer Frost teasers by the finale, and then in season 2, we'll slowly be moving towards a Cisco vibe. For those that are asking about, metahumans too, just remember they said there's a certain logic to who they give metahuman powers to and who gets to be a tech-based character. The rogues are a good example. Some of them have tech, some of them have metahuman powers. The ones that are metahumans are the ones that don't have the ability to create their own tech. The really hardcore science-based characters like Cisco are probably going to be creating their own tech. Caitlin is a very smart scientist, but she's more of a biologist. So if she gets powers, it's more likely that she would become a metahuman. So hopefully that answers some of your Vibe Killer Frost questions. But, mostly that, Canary Cry choker sound waves, that was more of a reference to Pied Piper. Next big question, Cisco dying in the promo. So I know a lot of you are asking, is that going to be the shapeshifter that he kills, or is it going to be something from the other timeline? This promo seems like it's only from the next episode, maybe the next 2 episodes. Because we see Harrison Wells inside a prison, I'm actually thinking that this version of Cisco that's being killed in the promo is the shapeshifter, Hannibal Bates. It's totally possible that Harrison Wells behind the glass could have been from footage that was cut out of last week's episode. So this version of Cisco could really be Cisco from another timeline. Moving on to Justice League stuff. I know everyone was asking if the police mural with the Greek gods on it was a Justice League Easter egg. You could look at it that way. I mean, Jay Garrick's hat looks an awful lot like Mercury. Max Mercury was a speedster too. So yeah, you could draw all kinds of references to that. I don't think it was so much a reference to anything that would be happening on the show in the future. I think it was more of a wink to the comics. It's not a hint that the show is going to be doing Justice League anytime soon. Although the team-up show is actually the next best thing. It's the same deal with the Wayne Enterprises Easter egg in the future newspaper they keep showing. It's not like we're ever going to see Wayne Enterprises on the Flash TV show, but it exists, so it's like them just kind of winking at us. So moving on to finale big team up stuff. I know everyone's asking about, Firestorm and how it's going to work with the spin-off show and Martin Stein being separate characters. So in this image we see Ray Shamel, the Flash, and Firestorm getting ready to go up against the Reverse Flash. What I think is going to happen with the finale is it will be like a rolling episode that'll cross over episode 22 and 23. So both episodes will just flow into one another. Whether or not it's a traditional 2-parter remains to be seen. But typically that's what they do with the Arrow finales is they just kind of make this big story that crosses 2 or 3 episodes. Add to that, Stephen Amell is on the show, so there will probably be some sort of Arrow Flash crossover. Whether or not it involves time travel, universe altering consequences remains to be seen. There's been a lot of rumors that some WTF will happen in the Arrow finale, then the week after that, in the Flash finale, there'll be time travel that'll totally mess with that, but that's unconfirmed. As for Ronnie Raymond and Martin Stein Firestorm, there is precedence in the comics for Ronnie Raymond to be able to become Firestorm by himself, so I think the show is slowly moving towards that. If you remember that Fight Club promo that they posted with them fighting each other in Thunderdome, you see Martin Stein actually standing on the sidelines watching Firestorm end the battle. You could look at that as evidence that the TV show is going to separate those characters permanently so that Robbie Amell can play the Firestorm character on his own without Martin Stein. Martin Stein is just one of the confirmed spin-off characters, and even though Captain Cold and Heatwave are also confirmed for the spin-off, that doesn't mean that they're leaving the Flash. Because the spin-off show is probably going to air whenever the Flash and Arrow are on break, whether it's the winter or the summer. The good thing about it not airing at the same time is that it allows characters to go back and forth between all the shows. They don't have to permanently leave one show to go to the other. We don't have a whole lot of other details about the spinoff, other than I'm expecting some sort of like promo moment after the finale of The Flash. Thank you everyone for submitting questions for this. These are always a ton of fun to do. Hopefully they tell us a little bit more about the spinoff show by the time we get to Comic-Con. Comic-Con is just like at the beginning of July this year, so it's a lot earlier, and they haven't really started filming the spinoff show yet. They might be getting ready to. They'll already have like an Arrow Season 4 trailer by the time we get to Comic-Con, so hopefully they will have some footage to show off from the spinoff series. But new episodes next week, so be sure to subscribe to get them. I'm also working on some Daredevil videos that I'm going to try and get out by Saturday. I want to start doing some Daredevil Season 2 stuff, but I got to get through the rest of my Season 1 videos. Don't forget, Avengers Age of Ultron, also in theaters, most places now, should be out by next week in the United States. Be sure to go see it, it's a lot of fun. If you haven't seen it yet, you can actually click here for my non-spoilery Age of Ultron review, and you can click here for my Arrow and Flash episodes from this week. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Let's high five. I'll see you guys tonight.